Experience the best, experience Windows 10. Wait, what? Yeah, this is Windows 10. Don't pretend that you didn't know it, are you? If you truly don't know, this is Windows 10 transformed into Windows XP, and we're gonna take a look at features, functions, and appearance of the mod to see if it's very close enough to Windows XP. First up, the setup. The setup uses Windows 10 LTSC 2021, but what I'm currently using is the earlier copy of this mod, which doesn't have ISO form, but rather a WIM image file, but here's the later recorded footage anyway. The boot screen is still using Windows 10s. The login screen is using Windows 10s because classic logon screen is, quoted from the creator, did more harm than good. Here we are on the desktop, and we can see that this too resembling Windows XP with the desktop background, the icon, and the taskbar. And there's more that we're gonna see in the future. There's the notes file for changes, bugs, and credits about this exact mod, Windows eXPerience R2. Taking a look in the start menu, it's not easily distinguishable from Windows XP, even if you do this side-by-side comparison. The only difference is the internet and email text, which aren't bold, and also the email formatted incorrectly. It should have formatted with the lowercase m like in Windows XP. But hey, you get what you want, a 96% accurate recreation of Windows XP start menu, along with the programs lists. Right-clicking the desktop brings the context menu, which easily resembles Windows XP too, especially with the MS Sans serif font, rather than Sego UI in Vista and later. Moving on to Windows Explorer, this is very convincing recreation of the Windows Explorer with the menus, icons, and also the task pane at the left, which is functioning properly with its items and actions, rather than just a decoration which directs you to one action in the previous version. As you can see, each item, file, or folder will result in the task pane providing different actions and tasks. Some icons aren't available, but hey, take it or leave it, it's already pretty good. By selecting Recycle Bin or the Notes file, this selection is no longer blue like in R1 or Windows 10 in general. This makes it more accurate to Windows XP. And I know, let's move on to the system applications. Alright, we got magnifier, on-screen keyboard, hyperterminal, remote desktop connections, sound recorder, volume control, calculator, notepad, paint, synchronization to a Windows XP, and finally WordPad. Those are very packed full of system applications. Minus internet/online games, XP games are included in here such as Spider Solitaire. My only issue is that dragging cards are extremely slow. I assume this is because how I run this under VMware, which slows the OS a bit. Like in the previous version, this OS includes Mozilla Firefox, which is transformed to look closely to Internet Explorer 6, and let's just say this is
nice.
This even uses default About IE6 rather than using Firefox's variant. Other bundled software in here such as Windows Media Player 10. But dang, that guide website really just gives me so many warnings. Yeah, I know this is an old software indeed, hence why. Outlook Express is also in here, if you can use it. MSN Explorer, MSN Messenger if you also install Escargot to use it. Oh yeah, don't forget about Movie Maker for you 2008 people with unregistered Happycam. Wait, what? Did I say this also last time? Be sure to install unregistered Hypercam, install Notepad. Oh yeah, nah, whatever. Task Manager is also replaced with Windows XP's version, which uses less memory and resources. Windows XP tile wallpapers are also in here, again. But the thing is, it missed the like the JPEG backgrounds such as Autumn, like Azul or whatever. But screensavers are still Windows 8.1 and Windows 10s for some reason. Moving to one of the crucial part of Windows, Control Panel. This is faithfully redesigned to align with XP's design, although the classic view isn't the same as Windows XP because Windows 10 doesn't have the non-tile large icons view in here. But hey, this is better than XP's classic view, honestly. And even the category view is just so... don't have any other words. Oh, not only that, you can go to Control Panel's God mode to see lists of all app lists and its customizations and such. But the View x86 Control Panel icons in here is just decorative. As I say, I mean, it doesn't do anything when I click it, so yeah. This mode also comes with 6 other themes from this XP. In this case, I'll choose Embedded and Royal Noir. Sound scheme is also changed to Windows XP. And fortunately, the XP sound scheme is used by default. Hooray! One thing that I noticed is that if you set the theme to another theme, the internet and email text sometimes just do this. Yeah, you can fix this by adding a blank character after the blank character to move the letter down. But I don't do it at this moment, but you can if you install this OS later. We also got Help and Support Center and System Restore, but it's just decorative. Again, it doesn't function properly. Command Prompt now uses Classic's theme, rather than Luna or whatever the theme that you choose. Since this is based on Windows 10 LTSC 2021, but brandings are changed to Windows XP like in WinVer, Windows Settings, and also the system information. But looking at the command prompt using ver, yeah, this is Windows 10 LTSC 2021 looking at the build. You can technically still use this mod as a daily OS, but I warn you to use this very carefully as software endgames are probably not working as expected because this is a heavily modded version of Windows 10. With the nature of Windows 10, you get some Windows 10 features like Aero Snap, Virtual Desktop, Windows 10 Settings, and Windows 10 Start menu by holding Shift while clicking the Start button. This was made possible by Travis, who worked on this second revision for over a year, I assume, and I salute him for achieving this marvelous concept into reality. But with that, there are still things that bit bothers me like bugs, quirks, and leftovers. You still get Windows 10 jump list. Some settings redirect you to Windows settings due to Windows 10's nature that you can avoid. Monitor image still have some ping artifact within system properties. Windows 7 icons can be seen in some places. Mortuary icons are using Windows 7's format. The turn off computer button just acts like Windows 7's version 2, and Windows 10 copy file dialog still exists in here, although with XP twist in it. But hey, aside from that, this is a near perfect transformation of Windows 10 into Windows XP. Plus, you can use this with your current device that supports Windows 10. Pretty cool, right? But don't get fooled along the way, this is still Windows 10 though. But what do you think about